Welcome to Flip the Script with Vic, a sacred space for honest, unfiltered, and sometimes taboo conversations between women walking the path of truth, healing, and soul remembrance. What started as my personal exploration has become a communal prayer, a podcast devoted to amplifying women's stories in their own words. I'm your host, Victoria Nielsen, intuitive healer, mama, and space holder for the divine feminine. Here, we gather as cycle breakers, mothers, mystics, creatives, witches, and wild ones, flipping the script on what it really means to be a woman in today's world. Through raw interviews, intimate solo casts, and brave conversations, we'll chat about motherhood, mysticism, psychedelics, spirituality, and more. You'll be reminded that your voice matters, that your truth matters, that you're here to walk in beauty. So be the prayer, and let's flip the script. Are you ready? Let's jump on in. Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Flip the Script with Vic. It's your host, Victoria Nielsen. It is your monthly energy forecast episode. So this is going to be the energy forecast for March 2026. I'd like to give it to you guys a little bit early so that you can know what to expect for the upcoming month. And it is channeled truly from the Akashic Records. I opened the records of everyone listening on the podcast so that this message would resonate with the most of you. And if there's any part of this that doesn't, that's okay. Take what does resonate and leave what doesn't. If you are curious as to what the Akashic Records are, I have old podcast episodes that share a little bit more about it, but essentially they are just an energetic frequency that anyone can access at any time to receive the guidance that they need in the moment. So by opening the records of anyone listening to the podcast, I'm just opening the energy of the potential of the month of March, which really the energy to me feels like it's a reckoning. March feels like a reckoning and also like a closing. There's going to be a lot of friction in March. You know, yes, it is going to be the new spring season. And yes, there is a lot of fire horse energy happening, but we're also in the midst of eclipse season. You have another eclipse coming up here on March 3rd. And eclipses are known to be chaotic. And that is because the more out of alignment that you are currently with your higher self, with your highest timeline, with the path that's really meant for you, the more chaos that you are going to see in your life. And you're going to see that unfold on the world stage as well. There's going to be a lot more chaos, a lot more happening in March as the US continues to go through its own dark night of the soul. And I share this really so that you can release any fear because yes, these things are destined in the sense that the earth is always going to take care of itself. The energy is always going to evolve and it is always going to move in the highest path, in the highest direction, no matter how it's being manipulated by outside forces. We have free will here on earth. Yes. But the energy is always going to try and right itself. It's always going to try and bring itself back into balance. And that's what's happening in March. A reckoning is happening to bring our masculine and our feminine energy back into balance. And it's going to be destabilizing. It's going to feel very chaotic because a lot needs to crumble. A lot needs to crumble so that things can come back into balance. So, let's not lead with fear. Let's not lead with these low vibration emotions. Let's lead with love and let's lead with compassion and with empathy, knowing that dark night of the soul, right, comes to all of us at every, at every point in life. We experience a dark night of the soul many times over. And so let's give ourselves grace as our country is going through its own dark night of the soul very, very publicly. All of these things need to come up and out and come into the light. And it's all been happening for a very long time. Anything that's coming to light is not new. These power structures just need to crumble for new ways of being in the world to form, for the new energies that are being seeded on the planet. Okay. So let's not be afraid of March. Let's not be afraid of all that's happening on the world stage. Instead, let's fortify ourselves. Let's really be strong in who we are and what we stand for so that when the reckoning comes, when the portal closes, when there are endings, we are able to then use that energy to help us. So the energy of March really, it still feels like that fertile void, that in between that I talk about a lot. And so many of us are afraid of that in between because it's really uncomfortable. It's that liminal space between what was and what is about to be. And it's going to be a whole month, if not more of that. And it's going to feel really uncomfortable to those that are gripping really tightly to their previous realities. And there's going to be many people that are gripping tightly to their previous reality. But if you are listening to this podcast, I'm hoping that you're at least open to change, that you're open to the potential of what could be if you let go of what you're clinging to. And it may feel like you're having to burn your entire world down. There are going to be so many of us that are going to have to walk through the fire this month. But please know that you will rise like the phoenix from the ashes, and that actually in burning those things down, you're making space for the stuff that is meant for you, that needs to come. And it's not going to be easy. So many of us signed up to be here right now on earth, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy. And I will say there are some of us that had never had earthly bodies before that are having much harder experiences because you didn't think it was this bad on earth. But I'm here to be a light in the darkness and let you know that you are capable and that your body can withstand this and can transmute it and can alchemize it. And that's actually part of why you're here, is to perhaps be an alchemizer of the energy, perhaps to be a bridge keeper from heaven to earth, perhaps to be a weaver of this new energy with the old energy, and kind of hold those two disparate feelings in your body and in your energy. And it may not feel quote unquote normal, but this is going to have to be the new normal moving forward. This energetic duality, it's only going to get more disparate as the months move on. And we have to be able to hold both of these in our new energetic bodies. And a lot of us are going to be going through upgrades this next month to be able to hold this in our energetic bodies. So you may be getting sick. You know, right now I'm very congested. I'm having a big crown chakra upgrade right now. And I know there's no coincidence it's happening before, you know, the next eclipse, because I'm opening to more light codes. I'm opening to more energies. I'm opening to more. I'm opening my energetic capacity. So know that if you were going through some type of like sickness or throat issue, a lot of like head, throat congestion, that like it's just getting all the gunk out before the upgrade happens. So taking care of your physical body is going to be really important in March, like really hydrating, really listening to yourself. You may find old cycles and old patterns repeating because they used to be comfortable, but now you know that they're no longer comfortable, and you're seeing the ways that they're not aligned. Give yourself grace. Like, for example, right now, what I'm thinking of is I have been experiencing some resurgence of like binging and feeling some old cycles of disordered eating coming back up. And I know it's because it's getting ready to be done for good, that in March, like we're closing the portal to this energy, that it's something that I'm going to move through and I'm going to close. But that doesn't mean, right, that it's not going to come back up and rear its ugly head for you to look at. So whatever that is in your life, you may find yourself repeating these old patterns, and you may be banging your head against a wall and being like, I thought I moved through this. Like, I thought I didn't have to deal with this anymore. You don't. This is like the final hurrah. This is the final, like, let's get it done, so that it's no longer in your energy field and it's no longer in your system. And it really can be released from your karma and doesn't have to be carried with you into this next lifetime of energy. And that's what the eclipses are. They're doors of fate that are helping move energy, that are helping move you to your highest timeline. So like I said at the beginning, if you aren't currently living your highest timeline, if you are still making choices perhaps from a lower timeline, things are going to combust until you start to make choices that are more aligned with your highest self. And even just bringing awareness to these patterns is going to be huge. And again, give yourself grace. If you have these patterns coming back up and you're feeling discouraged, know that you are dealing with them, that even noticing them and stopping perhaps the thought pattern, because we can have addictive thought patterns too, right? Like if you find yourself spiraling, excuse me, as I burp, we can shift and adjust those in every single moment, and moment by moment. And so really, we don't always have to be strong or always have to make the quote unquote right choice, but returning to the present moment and returning to what is in front of us and being with what's in front of us is going to allow us to choose again. We always get another chance to make a different choice. So it's okay if the choices that you made previously weren't the best ones. We're getting another chance in March to revisit it again. We've got Mercury retrograde coming up here. So You're going to be seeing things revisited. Patterns are going to be like keep playing out on the world stage until you're ready to release them, until you are ready to acknowledge them and make changes. And change doesn't have to be this all or nothing thing. Actually, change happens in the in-between, in the gray, in this fertile void, in this liminal space that feels like it's unknown. Like every day that you're sitting in the uncomfortable feelings, every day that you're allowing yourself to just be with what's in front of you, you are making change. You are making progress. You are really allowing yourself to change on a cellular level. Like I think let's acknowledge that when you move these things somatically out of the body, you are changing your cellular makeup. When you are moving the grief out of your body because you let yourself sit in the uncomfortableness, that is making change. Okay, so let's see what else wants to come through. But it feels a lot like just this, the energy wants to come back into balance and we have to let it. And the more that we fight against it, the harder a time we're going to have. The more that we're able to just flow with what's happening, the better off we're going to be. And that there are a few of us that are going to lose some things in March that we thought maybe we never would lose, but actually losing them is going to be the best thing that ever happened to us, even if we're not able to see it in the moment. And it's going to feel hard. March is going to feel really hard for some people, but leaning on your communities, leaning on one another is going to be the light in the darkness. And I felt called to pull a card from the Spirit Mama's Oracle for those listening. And it really felt like a beautiful supportive card to bloom with intention. And yes, of course, we have the spring equinox here in March, but this is a reminder that we all bloom in our own time, in our own capacity, when we are ready. So just because the fire horse energy is here and you see 10 million other people like off to the races, doing things in their businesses, feeling like they've got a lot going on, and maybe you're still sitting in that liminal in between, I want you to know that blooming with intention is far more important than just blooming to bloom. Okay. Think about a rose. A rose doesn't bloom because someone else tells it to. It blooms in its own time because it's ready. Okay. Everyone is going to be blooming in their own time in March. Even if the spring equinox hits and you're not feeling that energy, you're like, I am still wintering. I am not in spring. Follow that inclination to bloom with your own intention in your own time, okay? March, we all need to be running our own races and staying in our own lanes because everyone's timing is different. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's blooming with intention is going to be different. So the more that you keep the blinders on, you stay looking at your own lane, you're not comparing yourself to others, the better off you're going to be this month. Keeping those blinders on is also going to help you from getting distracted. There's going to be so many things that want to pull us out of our sovereignty. Like I said, a lot is collapsing and it's just noise. Okay. And it's loud. It's already really fucking loud. It's going to get louder in March. You've got to keep those blinders on so that you can keep your own pace, keep your own lane, keep your own energy on your goals and your dreams, okay? We don't need any energetic leaks around here where you are getting sucked into distraction. You are getting your energy hijacked, essentially, okay? Energy hijacking is real and it happens every time you open your Instagram app, every time that you are connecting with anything, because everything is energy. Your energy can be hijacked, okay? So protect yourself by not letting it get hijacked, by letting yourself like keep the blinders on, but also maybe like get off social media, you know, like maybe stop consuming so much. If there was a month in the year for you to stop consuming and to just create and be, it would be March. Okay. There's going to be so much that you can consume in March. The more that you do, the more confused you're going to be. The more unclear you're going to be because you're going to be so full of everyone else's energy and ideas. So the more that you can keep to yourself in March and actually like not listen to everybody else, the better off that you're going to be. Okay. The more that you are going to be prepared in April, because there's a different energy coming to April. And I'm not going to like peek into that yet because we're not there, but it really feels like the people that do the work in March are going to be prepared for what's to come in April and May when the energy just continues to increase. Right. So staying in our own energetic sovereignty, really being mindful of what we're consuming and how we're distracting ourselves. And then, yeah, like letting ourselves hold the disparate feelings, the disparate emotions, and realizing that two things can be true at the same time, right? That we can maybe want to build our business, but feel terrified at the state of the world. That maybe we can feel bad about what we are alchemizing and moving through, but we can also feel great joy for some of the things that we have coming up that excite us. Like, it's okay to be happy and full of joy while the world is falling apart. Actually, we need more of that. We need more joy right now more than anything else. So don't feel bad if you're in your joy. Don't feel bad that you are making beauty, or you're being creative, or you are sharing with the world right now when others are just complaining. Like, it's not a bad thing to be sharing joy. Let yourself do that if that's what you feel moved to do, okay? I don't know if there's really anything else coming through. Really just to continue to be the light, to be in community with one another, to lead with your heart, and to not let yourself get so caught up in the eddies of energy that are coming from others, because there's a lot of energy out there, and a lot of powerful figures that are moving energy, and we don't want to get caught in those swift currents. We want to be either steering our own current, or perhaps you want to be the rock that isn't moved by all of the things around you. Whatever metaphor, feels good to you. Just letting the energy of the records come through, letting it upgrade every cell in your being, letting this attunement allow your energy to move you into the highest timeline, to be of the highest good for yourself and others, and to be the activation that perhaps you need this month. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been enjoying these monthly energy forecasts, please share them, like, rate, subscribe, review the podcast. I give these to you guys once a month, while the rest of our conversations are always with amazing women from around the world. If you are an amazing woman who would like to come on the podcast and share your story, please reach out. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Be good to one another. I love you.